Good evening, fellow punchers. Mickey D with you again here on Thursday evening. It's about 6:22. I want to get this done and get it in the oven. I've a run to do with a family member, so I need to get this out of the way. Another good enough day. That Claymore is after beating Frankie. It was 11-4 without the favourite, and we had Isar placed. One of the first race was a bit unlucky, showed a bit of inexperience, bit of greenness, but the nap of the meeting, the crown jewel of the bus, Kyprios, done the business, even though it drifted out to 12-1 and running. Got a bit worried at one stage. It didn't travel with its usual zest, and it showed all heart. And it's only 4. It's the new kid on the block. It could be the new Stradivarius or Dylan Thomas or some of those. It could win. A couple or two or three, 4, if they wanted to go that road. So the pressure is always on when you say your nap of the week, because I was getting a bit of slagging there at the weekend, and I know a few were on at 11-2 a few weeks back. So I had a nice few pound there to collect, grand. So they won't get it back too handy off me, I'll tell you that. We still have the last race to run, the 6:10. So on the bus early this morning, KK was on. Philip Wright, it was the first time we've seen him back since he was in Paris for the soccer match. Tony Best was on. Rachel Duncan was showing a nice bit of leg. Fair play to her. But to stick Peter Wood upstairs, his hat was getting crumpled in the downstairs section. Gypsy Cream 26 was in great form. He had a Danny Tudhope the first day. He had a 16-1 and a 20-1 winner. So he was belying the fact that he hadn't them doubled, but don't be too greedy, hairstylist. Adrian O'Connor was in great form, bouncing around the car park when I arrived. And JS, good to hear from you, mate, and stay positive. Porrick Noon, back from holidays. Aidan Dalton and John Collin was singing the song I Hear You Rocking, or I Hear You Knocking, but I Can't Get In. Tommy Breen and Paul Neve made their debut on the bus. Good to meet you, lads. And Callum Peacock was on it again. And Matthew Nesfield was inquiring about a Placepot. He's getting into that familiar bet. Tomorrow is day 4. The Albany Stakes, 2-year-olds, 6 furlongs, is at 2:30. There's 18 declared. 3 favourites in the last 10 years. They were a 4-1 favourite and a 7-4 favourite. Sandringham won it last year, 16-1. Aidan O'Brien won it in 2016, and Roger Varian won it in 2014 and 19. Kushgara drawn 4 in 2008. All the rest. And Sandringham last year in drawn 2 were the only 2 winners in single digits. All the others were drawn high. So a lot of the fancied horses are drawn low tomorrow. Mediate for Aidan O'Brien looked good, winning a Group 3 in Naas over 6 furlongs to a previous winner. And Mother Earth had won that same race as a 2-year-old. So O'Brien targets that with some of his best fillies. Drawn 4, so that might be a slight problem. But a lot of them, as I was saying, are drawn low, the fancied horses. The Boys in Blues horse, I think, is drawn 7. And there's a fancied one as well and drawn in 1. That one for Amo, Loughnane's horse, Queen Ollie, that looked good first time out, but the time wasn't great, and the ones that ran behind it haven't franked the forum. Mediate has gone out to 4-1. So I'm going to back that point win because even though the draw is against it, all the fancied and the speed is down low, so it might be able to nullify that trend and stat. The Commonwealth Cup at 305, Group 1, for 3-year-olds over 6 furlong, 20 declared. This is the 8th running of the race. 2 favourites only in 2016 and 17. 7 different trainers have won it. Campanelle won it last year in the Stewards' Room. There's 15 geldings and 5 fillies in the field this year. Perfect Power is a favourite, rated 115 for Richard Fahey, and Christophe Soumian, the French jockey, is riding it. It's won 5 out of 8, including the Group 1 Prix Mornay last year when Soumian was in the saddle, and it won the Norfolk last year, so the track is fine. That when it won the Norfolk last year, it beat Go Bears Go by a short head, and it beat Go Bears Go comfortably the last time it ran. El Cabello is 6 for 7. Its only defeat was in its first start, and that was to a decent horse of Richard Hannon's Armour. He has won over 7 furlongs, so he'll be staying on at the death. He won the listed all-weather race in Lingfield as well, and that's drawn 20. El Cabello is drawn 20. The other one is drawn 1. Eras is drawn low as well for Richard Hannon. Course and distance winner. Travels well through the races. Irish Challenger Twilight Jet won a Group 3 in Naas nicely the last time, so it has trained on from his 2-year-old, and it was down the field in the Breeders' Cup. So I don't know, will the firm ground be against it or not? But there's an interesting horse there at 12 to 1. Tiber Flow for Haggis, and Tom McQuand is riding. It was only beaten a short head by El Cabello in Lingfield, and it beat Eras ahead the last time. And that's 12 to 1, and it's drawn in the high. So 5 places, they're way shorter. They're less than half the price. So I go for value. I'm on Tiber Flow, a pint each way. The Duke of Edinburgh is a mile 4 handicap, 19 declared. 6 favourites of the last 10 years, and they range from 11 to 4 favourite to 6 to 1, so they weren't short. Quick Turn won it last year for Hughie Morrison, a 7 to 2 favourite. 7 out of the last 10 were 4-year-olds, including 3 of the last 4. 9 stone 2 to 9 stone 4, round that bracket is the most frequent weight carrying by the winner. 9 stone 10 was carried in 2010. In this race, it never happened before in an awful long time. There's 4 horses that I tipped up the last time. 2 of them won. Trawlerman on Good Friday in Chelmsford, and Brilliant Light won in Ripon, 6 to 1 into 7 to 2. And the other 2 finished second were Stay Well. To the mile 2, it wasn't long enough. It was a horse of Mark Johnson that went out in front and kept ahead of it. And the other one is a Gero, who should have won the last time when he got a terrible ride. And that's actually 25 to 1 last night and this morning, and it's into 12s. So that's interesting. It's first run in a handicap, and that's rated, I think it's 135 over hurdles, and it's 89 here, so it could be well in. And that's for Kim Bailey. Trawlerman is up £5 for winning in Chelmsford, and that was over 7 furlongs, but has won over 12 furlongs in Pontefract last year. It's out of a Derby winner, Golden Horn. It hadn't run for 13 months from the Derby trial last year to that run in Chelmsford, so there must have been something amiss. Brilliant Light is up £4, but I don't think it's just good enough. Stay Well is interesting for last year's winning trainer. It has won 3 out of 11. It's carrying 9 stone 4. It ran 4 times at this trip, winning 2 and second the other twice. The only thing about a lot of these is only one winner is drawn in single digits, and that was in 2009. So I'll put up in the description what I fancy. I haven't fully made up my mind yet. I have to just rethink a few things, and I don't want to be just spewing it out to you. But I'll put it up later in a couple hours' time, and the same thing will happen to the last race. I haven't finalised that. That's a 5-year-old sprint, and I don't want to put you astray. The 420 is the Coronation Stakes, a mile, Group 1, 12 declared. Only 3 favourites in the last 10 years. Alcohol-free won it last year at 11-2. Has been 4 French winners in the last 12 years, 4 Irish and 4 English. And there's only 1 English-trained winner in the last 7 years, and that was actually last year. Inspiral for Cheverly Park, his favourite, is 4 for 4. It's not seen since the Fillies Mile, Group 1 in October. It's trained by John Gosden. So, and it won the Mayhill prior to that, a Group 2, and it's out of Frankel. So that's fairly fancied. There's an interesting horse in this, and it's an outsider, and that's the one I'm going for each way. Christopher Clement is a Frenchman, and he's plying his trade, and I've followed him for years in America. He's plying his trade on the East Coast, a lot in New York, and he does the circuit in Florida as well, Gulfstream and Tampa Bay and them. So he has a horse, Pizza Bianca, and this won the Juvenile Fillies Breeders' Cup, a 2-year-old in Delmare last November. This would be his first Royal Ascot runner, I think. It has won 3 out of 5 until second, first time out this year as well to one of Chad Brown's, who she had beat in the Breeders' Cup. But that was its first run, but it won in Pimlico since, and it won snugly enough. Likes top of the ground. It's very interesting he brings it over. But he has that Ortiz, the American jockey, on him. That fella, see him the other day, just like if you're trying to catch the horse's tail, instead of hitting the horse's arse, like with the stick. But that's at sprinting, and this is around a turn, so that's what they're more used to. Catching is in it. It won the 1,000 guineas this year and to second in the French 1,000 guineas. It is his 4th run this year. But that Pizza Bianca is 16-1 and there's 4 places, so I'm backing that each way. The 5 o'clock is the Sandringham Stakes, 3-year-olds, 1 mile handicap, 29 declared. 4 favourites in the last 10 years. 11-4 favourite, out to 11-2, so there wasn't anything real short. Create Belief won it last year for Johnny Murta at 6-1, and a 33-1 won it in 2019 and 2020. Herdia is favourite for Richard Hannon, 3 for 3, up £7 for her last win. 8 Stone and 8 Stone 1 was carried to victory by Haley Turner for Charlie Fellows in 2019 and 2020. And I picked, this is probably crazy, but I've picked a 50-1 shot. Present Moment. It's out of No Nay Never, and No Nay Never was out of Scat Daddy, and they love top of the ground. They love to hear their hooves rattle. And No Nay Never had a winner there with Little Big Bear yesterday. This one, it's maiden in Redcar on Good to Soft, and it's carrying 8 Stone 5, and Tyler Hurd is claiming 3, so 8 Stone 2, and they're paying a lot of, I think they're paying 7 places on that, and it's 50-1. And the other one that interests me, I'll have a small bet on it as well, is Persist for Kieran Fallon. That will like the ground, I think, as well. The 5:30 is the King Edward Stakes, Group 2, mile 4, only 6 declared. Only 2 favourites have won this in the last 10 years. Alan Kerr was last year with 13-8, and Pile Driver won it the year before at 18-1, and the other favourite that won it was the previous year, then was Japan at 6-4. Changing of the Guard won the Chester Vase on soft ground, it was 5th in the Derby, trained by Aidan O'Brien. But he's ground versatile actually, because he won in Dundalk, so the ground tomorrow shouldn't be a problem. That one, Ottoman Fleet, it was unraced at 2. It's for the boys in blue. It's 1 for 2 this year, winning a listed race in Newmarket on the 14th of May. But it beat horses rated 97 and 91. They were second and third. He nearly fell coming out of the stalls that day, and he'd done it sort of workman-like. So I think changing of the gear might go out in front. It might be hard to peg back. And as I said, the 610 is a 5 furlong dash. Significantly won it last year at 10 to 1, drawn 24, and Art Power won it the year before, drawn 19 at 6 to 4 favourite. I haven't finalised the selection. I'll put it up in the description later on. I'll just try and get this uploaded for now. So we're tipping along nicely. We're getting winners every day, and hopefully that tomorrow may continue. I found it very difficult actually tomorrow. I was at it for 2 hours last night. Made no headway at all. Had no selection. Had nothing picked. And then I went at it very early this morning, between 6 and half 6. And I got a bit of inspiration. And when I got into the hang of it for a couple of hours, I continued at that when I finished the run this morning. So hopefully we might be lucky tomorrow. And at least get a few places anyway. And into Saturday, where is the final day. Thank God in one way, but it has been a great week's racing. Mickey D, bash the bookies, over and out.